Oh yeah, but middle not going to be pressed for the time being. Nordavind happier to actually push towards B. There's only one player here. It's going to be Mighty Max. First head has been removed. Now it's all about a bonus. How many more kills can he take with him? Not any more. But bomb plant will be forthcoming. Nordavind 4-4 retake. There is a smoke and a kit, but Croman playing up close with the Glock. This is really where the Glock will shine. USP at range, Glock up close. And now Crucial is going to try and turn the tides. He has two teammates pushing up on short, so he's all alone on the kitchen side. And he has multiple T's about to push him down. Now they've locked him out. They realize that it's a one-pronged attack from Thomas. And as good as he is, he never stood a chance. Nordavind, very clean pistol.
Definitely. You know, just got kind of the even trade on the B-bomb side and the initial apartments rush. And then they just did a great job challenging that kitchen area, right? You know, you don't want to ever get locked into the site because then you just run the risk of maybe getting caught in 1v1 duels long range against USPs. And they just were able to close this with those blocks inside the kitchen and take care of business. So good job on them to lock up the pistol.
Force has been put down. The gauntlet has been set. 3 Deegs, P250, CZ. No kits, but plenty of grenades. And smokes to lockdown areas. Decent grenade as well. HS gets plastered for half his HP. But he is the only player that's around the vicinity of B-apps. It's going to be a pretty close stack, actually, from Endpoint. There's 2 players up on ramp, and Thomas is just waiting outside of the palace. So they are in decent position to strike with these pistols if Nordavind walk into the trap.
Very true. Definitely could cause a bit of a stir if we do indeed see them just walk into these 2 players up close on A ramp. It also will just depend on how effective their flashbangs are and how effective Robin can do this bait and switch here with Surreal. Also could be a key 1v1 breaking out here towards the palace area between Thomas and Tinsky.
Oh, they're lining up. The P250 and Deagle rip through them. They're going to expect more players here. They do, but Nato Safix can't finish it off. Bomb in an awkward position, but there's a smoke down there as well. Surreal waiting just on the off chance the Molotov spreads. It's not going to, but he keeps himself alive. And Nato, actually, I think he derped his grenade and it bounced back onto him. So Endpoint have 25 seconds to try and save this round and delay the tease for as long as possible. They're pretty isolated from one another. It's going to be a good flashbang that lands on both the CTs. Now, Tensky's going to try and push behind it. He gets traded out, and it all falls to Nato Safix. This is going to be a complete calamity if they lose this round. 10 seconds to go, and Surreal from Shadow will pounce an Endpoint of Forceport and will be victorious.
Yeah, it's just that perfect storm where, unfortunately, Nordavind run to a stack. And not only that, Endpoint had so many crossfires set up throughout every stage of that round that Nordavind were never really able to get a lot of 1v1s out of that, and that initial lineup with the P250s at A-ramp, that just sets you back. I mean, when you're immediately going into a 3 versus 5, even if you had the superior firepower, it just puts you in such a bind. And now they will force back with their own upgraded pistols and see if they can't keep this economic game of chicken rolling. Tinsky will be soloing over towards Palace. Everyone else kind of in this B apartments or underpass area. Tinsky just looking to see what can he do. Can he create any pressure? And oh, that's a 1D. That'll do. That'll keep them interested. That might unlock B.
I need a sound clip of that reaction.
Woo! You like that? Yeah.
That was amazing. Right.
Some of my best work, really.
Yeah, definitely. And now Nordavind off that crazy 1D, going to be trying to make the most of it. Grenade exploding onto Shadow. And Tensky will go with it, but the damage is already going to start to hemorrhage and bubble to the surface for Endpoint. Good spray down from Crucial, partially through the box, keeping this round in the balance. There is a rotation as well from Mighty Max, who is going to try and wrap around the back of the ramp or potentially the palace. It is going to be post-plant, though. So whichever way you spin it, Nordavind have got a pretty decent result out of this. Any extra kills from here on out is going to be a nice bonus.
Ooh, Harry. He's on that flank through CT spawn as well. He could be the insurance policy that makes sure that this retake is not successful, even if they're able to get kills elsewhere. I feel like Harry's going to be the one that can just sweep in behind. There is the flank from Mighty Max.
Success. Harry, those waiting. MP9 primed, ready, spray. Oh, no, he's run out of bullets, but he's still going to finish off the first kill. He needed the first one cleanly, but Nato Safix now going to be alive to try and stop the defuse. It's going to be time. Endpoint will pick it up, but it's a great cost. They lost 4 players.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you go into it thinking the victory is doing a lot of economic damage and getting the bomb plant, but once you get in that position where you actually could win the round in that post-plant 3-on-3, that's a bitter pill to swallow not to close it, especially when Harry had such a good flank. They had no idea. He kind of didn't completely whiff that initial spray, but just wasn't as efficient as he needed to be, and that really hurts. I think Endpoint got away with one there.
They definitely did.
Eco
Nordavind
now,
had
Vince.
they had the decision if they wanted to force, because they must have known that Endpoint's economy was really rough, but they do decide to hold fire. They could have got some Galils, they could have gone for, Tech 9 armor and really got in their face, but Nordavind playing for the bigger picture.
Yeah, just doing the full-on armorless deco. And Crucial, just playing a little bit of duck hunt here through the connector. Easy pickings for him with the AWP. Might just get the all-on eco ace. Nah, Robin's not having any of that. He's not letting him get the ace.
That's a confidence builder, though, for sure, because Crucial was looking snappy with the AWP.
Oh, absolutely, man. By the way, you're talking about me making that noise earlier. The worst part is that you know how they do those like caster highlight videos where they like do all the caster's best moments? There was a video like that, and my best moment was me laughing at some guy dining a Molotov. Just, that and me screaming at Nifty wallbanging that guy on cash with the op at the Asian miner. Remember that way back in the day. But this aggression from Endpoint at A ramp, that's good stuff. Good kill to keep the momentum rolling.
Crucial had the right idea, just the wrong timing. And it may have been because he heard some pressure coming down on short. 2 kills already. Not able to flick across to Croman, who is making his presence felt. Bursting out of B-Apps. One more player on the site. Mighty Max spins around, gets one, but traded out. And Croman is having so much impact. He's tagged down to 50. He needs his teammates to help him out. There's still so much time left, but a rotation, a flank is coming to fruition. It's Surreal on short. Post-plant will be the scenario. And they have enough time to actually traipse that second player over who was last seen in market all the way round, but Surreal peaks prematurely. Doesn't give Thomas a chance to get up close and counter or avenge or do really anything from this. He's going to have the element of surprise. He's going to have the high ground. But whether that'll yield both kills is yet to be seen. He's still peering. There's Natasafix, who's not going to go down clean. And so Thomas has to move out, fakes the drop down. Here comes the first kill. He knows Nato's down there, but Nato, with the no-scope, is going to pick up Nordavind's second round.
So first off, nice try, Thomas. I mean, that really was close. I think the fake dropout and everything was just executed well, but just really nice job by NATO to get the no-scope there in the end. But also for Nordavind, just the composure to not go for the force up, do the deco, come back with the full buy, and run a really good play. Croman with 4 kills on that round, trying to match Crusoe's play from the previous. Now we see Nordavind setting up for some type of set piece over here towards the A bomb site. Everyone is here, so they're trying to change it up just a little bit.
Yeah, that play from Surreal looked a bit foolish. I wonder if he thought the bomb was planted for short and could get that easy kill. Surreal, though, going to try and make amends. Nearly gets a 2 for 1. He actually tagged HS through the body of Croman. Good flashbang put down. How the hell is Crucial not got a kill from that? And somehow Nordavind, they're going to shift through the gears. They're going to take more kills down with them. 3v3. Every single round has been a brisk pace. Lightning action here on Mirage. They're going to try and get that bomb plant in amongst the smoke. Thomas is still holding off from CT spawn. Runs out of ammunition, switches to a sidearm, and comes out with a 3rd kill. Now that's a Safik stuck on the firebox. Surely living on borrowed time. And there we go. Endpoint makes sure that he's not going to be able to double up his kills at the end. And so Endpoint will pick up a 4th.
I mean, this is getting fairly chaotic at this point. We're starting to see some rounds kind of go back and forth these last 3. After we saw Endpoint get a little bit of a streak going. Nordavind fought back, and Endpoint are trying to make sure that they stay ahead in this race. Even with that bomb plant, Nordavind's money is in the bin, so this could be where Endpoint starts to really build up a lead here. They're going to go double op setup, which Surreal has had a history of being a primary opper on previous teams, so he will certainly feel at home with the weapon. He had the opening pick in the previous round as well, that must be said, that kind of helped them along. Mostly just P250s and Deagles here, Vince.
Indeed, but we've already seen that the Nordavind squad is more than capable of rattling off 1 Deeks and making it very scary indeed for Endpoint, so I'm not going to write them off here. Smoke down onto connector, perfectly positioned to peer over the top of it. Robin now has control over underpass, or at least he can give that early warning system. A good grenade. If a little bit deeper, and that would have been a brutal nade for the T's. It's going to force them out into the open. Very well played from Endpoint. They lock it down on middle. As clean as you could really ask for him. Nordavind in trouble in the 7th round now.
Oh, yeah. Not a whole lot to be seen in this round, to be honest. It's all about just seeing if you can do a small amount of economic damage, force a little bit of rebuying out of your opponent. They will force 2 rebuys, so keeps Endpoint's economy somewhat in check, but the 2 expensive AWPs were at least carried over. So it does help lighten the load a little bit on rebuying here for Endpoint. Now the full buy back up from Nordavind. Curious to see what they're going to do. They've shown us a good mix so far of like an A set piece, of fast B apartments play. They've done very little traditional default, though, I would say. And definitely focus more on the executes of sorts. But this one's definitely a little bit more standard. Definitely a little bit more of what I would think.
Yeah, maybe a bit of normalcy, a bit of standard CS is going to be coming up. Aggression from Crucial. That's Chroman that goes down, but there's no one behind him. So that's going to give Endpoint a bit of an idea as to what's going on.
I mean, that's kind of Chroman's role in this team a lot, just to be that aggressor on the perimeter of the map, to try to create pressure, to get information. Obviously, he can be used as a trade fragger and set pieces, but they try to let him be that playmaker on the edges, and that time he just got caught, while Tinsky's kind of the more reserved peripheral player. But again, he's been one of the best players in the tournament, so it's worked for him, and unfortunately, nothing's working for Nordavind this round, though. 5-on-3 already.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough. Oh, a 2-for-1. Surreal was flirting, teasing they could pull that off. And I don't know how much he knew about that because he was flashbanged. But 6-2 the score.
That's that pleasant surprise, Vince. You've been flashed. You don't know what happened. You probably asked, did I get a frag there? And then you finally come back to terms and you look at the kill feed and realize what you've done. And it's going to be a nice grin, I'm sure.
Definitely a welcome surprise. Nordavind, at these 3 unanswered rounds now. They're into an eco, and Chroman has just been obliterated off that grenade. Good shot from Crucial, who is on 12. Make that 13 kills, maybe adding an extra one if he decides to repeat, but wants to play this one smart and safe. Their economy, all things considered, is decent, but it's not exactly in that realm of not having to worry going forward in the half. So don't want to throw away the AWP unless you absolutely have to.
All Endpoint wants to do is just get away with this one clean. You don't want to have to do a lot of rebuying here. I mean, if the ump goes the way of the dodo, that's fine. Get him on a rifle would be great, but don't want to lose it in for the ops. Max will upgrade to an AK. Have lost Thomas there. A little bit of a boost taking place in the middle, catching him on the catwalk. Still some time to play with here on Nordavind. The issue is they have no armor, no utility, so they just have to really rely on somehow getting some more 1-digs to unlock something to maybe get a bomb plant. Looks like they're looking towards B.
They are looking towards B, but they may have their eyes closed by Mighty Max, who's in perfect position with the AK. There's the first. There's no follow-up kill. There's no grenades either, so it's going to have to be a spicy one-tap from Nato Safix or Tensky. He's pulled off a couple already today as Tensky, but there's the flick. And Crucial with his 3rd kill in the round. This round is done. It's going to be Mighty Max that puts the final nail in the coffin. 4 unanswered. Crucial, 14 kills to his name. And additionally, on top of that, he has 142 ADR. He's loving life right now.
And we talked about how, you know, he's one of the stars of Endpoint. Him and Thomas are amongst the top 5 players in this tournament as well. So no surprise to see him kind of just continue that on.
Yeah, this is where you feel like Nato's really going to be tested as the IGL. Like, what ideas can he come up with? You're being batted 7-2. 2 of your rounds, one of them has come off the pistol, quite literally. The other one was a very shaky economy CT side, and they only kept 1 player alive. So now you've got full funds. The CTs have full funds. How do you crack open the defense?
Good question, really. I think it also comes down to just need to see a little bit more from HS. He's kind of had struggles throughout this entire tournament, and he's sitting on 1 frag right now, and he's plays in one of those, you know, kind of trade fragger positions when it comes to mid control and some of their set pieces. So he kind of needs to just be a little bit more efficient to try to help out here. Harry's also had his struggles. I feel like he's kind of more of a supportive element on the team. So, and it's not that they haven't tried different things, Vince. I feel like they have been fairly diverse. It's just now they're starting to get really shut down in some of these exchanges. A lot of it, though, is just people trying to make plays by themselves, other than a couple of the set pieces.
It's just the same outcome again. Crucial peeking connector, flicking across the Nato Safix, whose AWP has been dispatched, and there's not really much the CTs have to do now. Just sit back and wait. They've got the advantage. They've forced Nordavind back, and there's the molly extending to Chroman, who was so tagged up, but there's 2 kills from retaliation, and HS may be looking for more as he pierces through on short. The bomb is going to be rummaging round the backside of B-Apps. A big kill from HS to allow safe passage for Harry to get the bomb plant. Robin He's going to be going in first, but his teammate's nowhere near. So he's trying to waste time, and he gets flashed and fragged. And now Crucial is the last man standing, as being the top player so far in terms of performance on the server, but a clutch with the AWP and a 1v2 with positions very much locked down for a crossfire is going to be a rough ask, and Nordavind do finally bounce back with their third. So the tactical timeout is successful, but probably not the way they're expecting.
And the man I mentioned just popped off. You know, increased this frag count hugely there. A 4K round from HS, a guy who's sitting on 1 and 8 throughout the majority of this match. Good to see him really come into it there. I just wonder if that's going to continue to work consistently. I felt like they got a little bit fortunate on some of these exchanges. I feel like they've often been shut down, particularly in that B apartments area. So I think they need to maybe make a couple adjustments to try to get Croman more involved elsewhere on the map. I feel like he's been kind of just wasted in these B apartments a lot of the time. Definitely has a lot of talent to get those opening frags. Again, we talked about how he was one of the top 5 players when it came to opening frags in this tournament. But they've done a really good job countering him at B, the Endpoint crew.
Yeah, they sure have. You have to question for Nordavind, where do your consistent rounds come from at this point? Because, again, that one, I'm not saying it was gift wrapped. I mean, it was taken. HS grabbed it with both hands. Can he feasibly pull off four kills every single round? Probably not, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those big individual efforts and a really close, chaotic round. So hard to win those consistently. And they do slow things down this time around, Vince. Just kind of playing it slow. The thing is, they haven't really gained anything. You know, we're 45 seconds left on the clock. They haven't really truly established mid control in any form or fashion. They've only been able to set up to just watch for pushes. Now they're starting to put some flashes and smokes out on mid to take it late, but that's going to leave them not much time if things start going wrong on this B split.
Yeah, it's going to start pretty poorly as well, with both AWPers locking it down on shorts. They've just ran into the trap. They've ran into the crossfire. Tensky sprays wildly through the flash, gets 2. Solid headshot into the second is at least going to keep the economy somewhat low, but the round is done. 8-3 lead for Endpoint.
Yeah, that mid control just came a little bit too late, I feel. I feel like they needed to get control of ladder room and catwalk a little bit faster if they were going to try to do that mid-B split, because all you've done is allow Endpoint to maybe gain information elsewhere on the map, make rotations, set up in comfortable positions, and it just makes your work that much harder. And it's just always that added issue, like we discussed, where if one little thing goes wrong, if one little frag goes against you when you're trying to go for your hit with only, say, 30 seconds left on the clock, you might not have time to plant the bomb or get into good positions post-plant. So it's just one of those things where it went really bad. Like, they lost 3 players almost in the blink of an eye. So I think that they definitely need to just kind of think of something. I think maybe just an A set piece or something to just where you get everyone involved together as a unit. Maybe not right away, but, some type of mid-round play or just get better mid-control at a faster point so you have more options on the table and you have more time on the clock to kind of figure out which one is best. I think those are kind of the adjustments that need to be made here.
Yeah, crucial as well, though. You got to give him credit. I know we've already kind of piled on the praise, but for good reason. Yeah. He's 19-7, has a well over 145 ADR, and it just seems like he's making these small adjustments, tweaks. He's been all around the map. He's been B-app, short, mid. He's always where Nordavind seem to be pushing. He's having a blinder of a game, and he's single-handedly shutting them down for the most part.
I feel like there's been a lot of talk about Thomas on this team, but Crucial's right there with him. Neck-and-neck performance for this team. Like you said, he's definitely been popping off here. The Nordavind setting up for some type of A-split play. Couple underpass.
It's a big flash. You can see Robin completely screwed as soon as that exploded. And Thomas has been tagged through the smoke, so a much better start for Nordavind. One of their best starts so far on Mirage. They need to convert this, though. And 3v5 when Thomas is low. Like, surely this is the one, Dust.
Oh, it should be. I mean, when you have a 5-on-3, you got to be closing these, and they've made a good call here just to realize that they've definitely caused the rotation A. They're going to try to swing that bomb back around the B, but if they take too long, you might start seeing some of these CTs drift. I mean, they already do have Mighty Max inside the B site, but this rotation's really far away, so if they hit a good timing here, they should have a pretty easy time closing out this round.
Yeah, they forced away that third player as well. Mighty Max from B towards the middle side, so maybe looking to try and clump together and save instead, which would make sense. Their economy, a couple players are pretty low.
Yeah, it's Endpoint just making that decision kind of, in that round. Hey, it's 3-on-5. Let's just stack together. If they come to us, great, we have a chance to win. If not, we'll save the weapons because money is pretty low. And so indeed they will roll over those 3 weapons. I don't think Nordavind will give much chase. Their own economy is really fragile, so can't really afford to toss too many bodies that direction. But yeah, this is a good round from Nordavind. Just I think that pop flash on A ramp is really just kind of the hero nade that won them the round. That got them, for sure the opening kill, and it really set up the second one as well. And once you have the 5-on-3, I mean, you've really low percent chance you're going to lose the round. So, nice job there, Nordavind. Good adjustment. Got a bit fortunate that they caught that flash on an aggressive A-ramp player, but nonetheless, at least they tried something different. They gathered up together. They worked a bit faster, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as 5v3s go, it's pretty much one of the hardest situations. Like, sometimes you're in a 5v3, but you've softened up multiple targets, and there's not much time left, because there's always that chance that they push into that spray. But there's so much time left in those 2 kills after ramp that there was really no hope for Endpoint. So an understandable save does afford them the find they currently have. Still a very solid one. And Nordavind at least have won 2 of the last 3, so things are starting to look a little bit like they're going upwards. The trajectory's looking good. Crucial with the peak. Gets the tag, but down to 1 HP. Somehow surviving.
Huge to get out of that situation. That could have really spelled doom if he hadn't been able to get away with that. And with the AWP, he's got 1 health. If he plays it right, he could still have a lot of impact in this round. So that is definitely some crazy stuff. As again, it's kind of Nordavind split out all across the map. I don't know if they're going to go for some kind of fake B execute and then come out Palace and then have these 2 B players come through underpass to try to split A. Surreal having aggressive A ramp positioning could be a problem. We'll have to see. Oh, that's rough.
It's a brutal timing, and it's actually the weakened player. I feel like if that's 100 HP, Robin doesn't get that kill outright.
Vince, that bust to fake too. Like, they're not going to worry about that utility at B. They know what's going on.
They killed on the run from Croman. HS has been put down through the smoke from Surreal. And now Harry's going to show his hand. They haven't seen the bomb in his hands, and they know the bomb is down on A. So as you said, this fake has been completely busted. It's been completely called. Natosafix may be able to emerge out of the smoke and does actually tag Surreal. Surreal standing, getting winged. 20 seconds to play with Harry on the cross. Headshot delivered, losing 76 HP in the process. It all falls to Robin. Both players are low. Next bullet should seal it up, but it's going to be Robin. From the backside of default, a 4K, an Endpoint get back into winning ways.
So that's not the way I thought they would win the round, Vince. I thought it was going to be way more convincing considering the fact that they got that kill in Palace, so that just blew up any fake that Nordavind was going to try to run, which it seemed very evident that they were going to try to fake out B a bit and then split A. And Robin really caught on to that and got the frag right away. And Surreal had A ramp control. Like, it looked like they should lose that one really bad. They actually got it close, to be fair, until though all that matters is that Endpoint get the victory. As we do see some early mid contest in here, but no frags just yet.
Thomas trying to peer outside that smoke. It's going to clear. Does get 1 and a second. Looking for a 3rd. We were saying he's a player to watch out for. And that burst of energy is why can consume the enemy team. Croman at least going to try and keep Endpoint honest. Wild spray, and Tensky gets the upper hand onto Robin. So this round's not done just yet either.
No, not at all, but this bomb might get caught here by Crucial, and that does it. That ends the round. You imagine Tensky's super low HP. They know exactly where he is as well from that exchange he had on the A site. So I think this one is now oh, hold on. Hold on, Vince.
1v1, 10 HP, and there is the peak from Mighty Max. 1 bullet was going to seal it, and how many times now? That's twice in a row the Endpoint have had 1 player left, and a very low player at that. It was Robin, then it was Mighty Max.
Yep.
Nordavind could have easily had like an 8-6 scoreline right now.
There's been a lot of rounds like that. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the half, there was another 2 rounds that came down to 1v1s there. So 4 of their 10 victories have come off of 1v1 situations at the end. They've had a couple of times, too, where it came down to like 2v2. So definitely a lot of close rounds here, but Endpoint's won a lot of them.
You won't expect a second player. Surreal with the MP9. He's just going to get overwhelmed. There's 3 players pushing Palace. at least information gathered. They can quickly rotate all their players off the B side. Crucial with the right idea, but he just missed his window of opportunity. They'd already dropped to the site. The UMP spray is good with a flashbang of Crucial, and Thomas is keeping it locked down from CT. Here comes the AK from Croman. Oh, that one tap at the end. And Nato Safik sealing it with a Tech 9. It's going to end 10-5, but honestly, Nordavind could have had such a closer result.
Yeah, there was so many rounds that came down to 1v1, 2v2. So if Nordavind just converts a couple of those, we have ourselves like an 8-7 game or something like that. It's definitely been really close. And when you look at that timeline, look at how scrappy the game has been. None of Nordavind's rounds came streaked together. They were all spread out throughout the half. Wild game, really.
Yeah, I do also wonder as well, like, Crucial had so much impact, but he was playing different angles and waiting for Nordavind to push into him. How much impact can he have with the T side up? Because if he doesn't have that same level, someone else may need to pick up the slack. It was kind of the Crucial show there. Here comes Nordavind, though, on the CT side. Croman instantly decapitating Mighty Max. They know it's going to be an A hit. Beautiful positioning from HS. The timing's on point, and so is his aim. And it all falls down to Surreal, who is being battered and bruised in Palace. And it's only a matter of time before he goes down, and it's HS who takes his third. That's just what Nordavind were looking for, and it's a clean pistol.
One of those situations where they went for that standard execute with the smoke top stairs and the smoke jungle and just try to run into A and see what you can do, but this got picked apart, really. Well done by Nordavind. That's exactly the type of round you need to start getting back into this race. Endpoint will, of course, force up with the Deagles and a Scout, a Tech 9 also in the mix. Armor on everyone. No utility, though. So it's all going to come down to duels and exploding onto something together, which it seems like they want to use that Scout to get some mid-control, which they've done.
Smoke's being deployed over towards the jungle connector side. Going to be landing in just a couple moments from Thomas. Going to be looking to boost up into windows simultaneously. Just having a quick peek. A different angle of aggression. Slowly edging forward. Nato Safik sees the player protruding around the corner and actually gets the kill cleanly. He's tagged after the death of Crucial. That's a bit of an awkward moment from Endpoint and definitely not what they were looking for. Second smoke goes out. Nato Safik's continuing to put down the punishment. But keep in mind, he's also getting money towards his AWP. So that's great news for Nordavind, especially if they can win clear from here.
Yeah, dude, NATO's just on a solo mission right now, shutting down every single play Endpoint's been trying to make at middle, but finally he gets caught by Robin. It puts it into a 3 versus 4 with 45 seconds left on the clock. Bomb in Thomas's possession here on Cat. He'll drop it down, not wanting to commit the bomb as he takes his peek into the site. In the meantime, the rest of his team's starting to get picked apart here. It's really on Thomas now. They try to find something with this Deag, as Surreal is low HP. What?
Oh my god, that is ridiculous. A jumping no-scope to the forehead, and now Thomas and Surreal can start to make moves towards the B side. Surreal's gone down from A, but now Thomas going to be pushing onto the site. Harry's playing it perfectly, though, and Nordavind will not concede a bomb plant. That was a filthy shot, though.
Dude, that I feel like that's the kind of shot that'll get you going. Even though you lost the round, that gets you pumped up when you hit something like that. That was wild. Wow.
Hey, good news for Nordavind. They didn't make the same mistake twice. They didn't win the pistol, then get forced up. That's great for the CT side. They can now build that economy. They've got full rifles as well.
Yeah, this should be an easy one for them, Vince. This is where you get your money. Start stacking those bags, Vince.
Oh, yeah. And it also means that their next round, that round we often call the bonus, is actually going to be a really healthy buy. You're going to look at potentially 5 rifles. Like, normally you're looking at an SMG or 2, or maybe a scout or something. No, this is 5 rifles. These are all legit weapons.
Yeah, the sacrifice is that NATO, went for the M4, which means he's not going to be able to get the AWP if he had to, like, just waited another round with the SMG or something like that. Especially since he already had a couple of MP9 frags there. I do kind of wonder about that a bit. Well, maybe he didn't take a little bit of a sacrifice to get an op right away, but definitely a capable rifler, so fair enough.
Yeah, Croman's not going to be far off that threshold of potentially dropping an op if they really were desperate for one, but I feel like we will just see them hold on to these rifles, assuming that no one dies to the hands of Thomas.
Exactly. I don't see that happening.
It's unlikely, isn't it? Indeed. He's going to be moving into the windows. That was Nato, who was the lowest member in terms of HP. Down goes Thomas. And Nordavind now close the gap to just 2 rounds.
Comes up the full buy from Endpoint. A team that definitely has a pretty balanced playbook from what I've seen from Mighty Max. I mean, they definitely do play the standard mid control pretty well, but they definitely do love the faster split plays, and they are a very A-heavy team. I don't really see them hit B that often. It seems like they favor the A set pieces, and they also really love the pressure window. That's something to really look out for. They really do like to get into window room and ladder room quite a lot, so they can split A through connector and such. So I would really be on the lookout for those window plays. But look at this play, Vince. Roman pushing through A ramp.
And that's always giving some trash talk about Vertigo, so clearly they have been watching some demos. This may be a read, but Thomas, he's a step ahead and will neutralize Croman. So the first blood of round 19 does go the way of the T's.
But hold the phone, Vince. Now Tinsky's in the same place. Thomas really going to expect a second player to have come out? No, is the answer to that question. Here's that window play we were talking about, Vince.
Especially not that angle, Dust. Like, you think he's going to be on the floor, not up there on the wall. Like, that's such a brutal angle for Thomas to deal with. But as you said, window position now being taken and maintained. Endpoint moving in. The head has been spotted over the box, and he has been tagged, but it's only 14 HP. There's a big grenade in return. Molotov tossed down. That's going to force away the T's, and Tensky penetrates the smoke. Robin's life deemed forfeit. They may not anticipate Surreal's position here, and he gets the drop on Tensky, spins around a little bit too antsy. Tags his teammate for good measure.
Not too much, though. It's okay. It's a little bit of a love tap. Little pat on the butt. Good game. I don't know if that's a thing in, like, European sports.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
The more I think back at it, the more creepy that it is a part of, like, American sports at times. But anyway, 3-on-2 post-plan, Vince.
Yeah, HS and Harry just with an incendiary between the two of them. Harry throwing the molly on the firebox, living up to its name. And now Surreal watching the angles. He will have this dead to rights if the push comes in. I think Nordavind realistically going to try and take some exit frags. That's a solid kill from Harry. But if he pushes out any further, he will die from the hands of Crucial. That's exactly what's come to pass. Leaves HS to try and save his M4. It'll be a decent save, but we did mention this was more of a bonus round anyway. Nordavind will be able to get a buy, and it will include an AWP. Potentially even 2 if they really want to go for it. Yeah,
this thing Endpoint did a great job kind of absorbing that A aggression pressure and being like, okay, if you're committing that many resources to this, then we know that there has to be gaps in some of the other critical areas, and they were able to expose that with that window pressure. Again, definitely be on the lookout for Endpoint to abuse window room more. It's something that they definitely do favor.
Whereas we were kind of giving them a pass in the last round for their lack of buy. This one has to flying colors. If they lose this round, they are into an eco, and Nordavind will start to feel the pressure mounting again. So this is a pressure cooker round. Let's see how Endpoint decide to start things off very slowly, taking a bit of mid control, but by and large giving up large areas of the map.
Yeah, I would expect Endpoint to do a lot more 1-3-1 mid control than we saw Nordavind do, just based on games I've watched Endpoint play in the past. But they definitely can throw in those faster split plays later on down the road. So they're a good team at kind of changing the pace. And again, this is one of their top maps in the pool, so it's understandable that they would have it pretty well drilled. We do see them setting up just to get that smoke down a window to try to make some forward progress with maybe some of these back mid players. Trying to see what they're setting up for. It's like they're bringing that bomb through B apartments. Again, they are a team that's usually more A heavy, so to see a B split's a little bit more rare, but something they definitely will throw in, as most teams will. See how it works out.
Molly is going to start to dwindle away. Mighty Max pushes the smoke, dropping HS in the process. The 2 entries going well for Nordavind. Or for Endpoint, I should say, against Nordavind. And now the CTs, feeling the economic pinch, are going to have to back away. They do have Croman, who's playing up close, maybe looking for exit frags, but the other 2 of them will be saving their guns. So Endpoint have managed to successfully bounce back into this half, stringing together 2 in a row. And it was nothing necessarily too fancy, Dust. It was just very well executed.
Yep. Really nothing I can add to that, Vince. I mean, I think it really just came down to that creeping through the smoke play on Catwalk, getting that initial kill, really cut off the support system for the actual B side itself, and just able to be really efficient. I mean, only losing 1 player on that. Big kills from Surreal Mighty Max. Probably will get an exit at the end and be apartments to try to force a little bit more rebuying out of the opponent, but they're not going to mind that too much. Let's keep their economy in check, though. Could help out Nordavind. The issue is they can't really buy around these save weapons too much.
It's a late decision as well. You can see there. They dropped to FAMAS. They dropped to 5-7. So they're really unsure. This is going to put a few players on the back foot in terms of getting into positions quickly. So if we do see a fast hit come in, this could be brutal. And that's the impact it has, Dust. In a nutshell.
I mean, again, I can't really add much more analysis to it than that. I mean, you really hit it head on. Look at how fast, and I mean, even HS got caught by how deep they're in to be. He's able to back away, though. He took a lot of damage on that fire. Down to 52 already.
Just like that, the round's done. They already have Thomas positioned on Tetris. He's going to get one. It's a worthwhile trade, all things considered. It's going to keep the economy very rough. Ooh.
Nearly got him. But yeah, that is kind of wild how timing will just get you like that. Just a little bit indecisive in spawn. Probably where you should take a time out if you're that indecisive to talk about it. It does cost them big there.
Absolutely, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've had a single timeout this game, have we?
We had one in the first half. From
right, so Nordavind have at least 3 left. You'd think now is like the time where you want to be using them.
I don't know if they took a second one or not. I know they definitely took one, though, in the first half. But yeah. Now would be a good time to do so. Now that you actually have some money, figure out your full buy, figure out what you want to do. I think this would be the time to take a timeout if you're going to take one. There it is.
There we go.
No surprise.
The day spot on, they did take 2. So I guess I am just losing my mind in my old age.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
It'll happen.
You're doing a great job with the color at this point, man. Like, I don't really think I have much analysis to add. Like, you're spot on about your own mental state. You hit a couple of big rounds, so I mean, I can just chill out here with my coffee, man. You can just wrap this one up, you know.
I think it's gonna be over pretty quick, though. That's
it does
my
feel that way, yeah. I mean,
analysis.
I hate to be so pessimistic because, I mean, it's not like we've seen Nordavind pop off a lot of buy rounds this half yet to really show us what they're capable of on CT side, but it just there's kind of just this air around the game where Endpoint just seems so in control of how things have gone. And that's tough on Nordavind, too, because, again, this, in theory, if you're just looking at stats, is their best map since, you know, they've been using Harry as a stand-in. So that doesn't spell well for the series itself.
You feel like this may be the safety net that's about to become unraveled. If they do lose this round, Nordavind, they'll be into a rough buy again. 14-8 behind. You feel like this has got to be the moment that they grab back onto this map.
Yeah, this is going to be their best buy. And it still doesn't include an AWP, which is unfortunate.
Another slow start. Endpoint having Mighty Max at the top of middle. Everybody else is starting to congregate around the ramp side of A. Looking like they could be setting up a set piece momentarily.
Their first one of the game, too. So this is a little bit different. And 2 players are in connectors, so the smokes could block them off and really isolate NATO in the site, unless he decides to back off and they play for retake. They're pushing 3 middle, though, Vince.
And they haven't really got too much from it. They've actually pushed themselves off the site. Fortunately, though, for Nordavind, the counter push didn't come in just yet, so they're going to get back in time. And now the crossfire is being set up. A 1-for-1 trade as the T start to spill out onto the site. Damage being inflicted to HS, who gets finished off. The peek in from Crucial, going to yield to death, and there's the second one. Mighty Max comes back, but the bomb's been dropped in a horrible spot. Next kill comes out. Oh, spray from Thomas. It's phenomenal. The headshot onto Harry from the other side of the map. That's ridiculous.
How can you lose when people are hitting sprays like that, dude? That is unbelievable. Thomas just did that. That's one of those, like, dream sprays that you kind of just haphazardly go for with no real confidence it's actually going to work, but you feel like, I might as well do it. I don't really have any other option. I'm kind of stuck out in the open, and it connects, of course, with Thomas. Jesus, man. That's so brutal.
You're talking about inspirational moments. You better believe Thomas is feeling this
right now. Because that was
another
winnable 2v2, Vince. Like we've seen many times. And if they just all go on the endpoint.
It's absolutely brutal. They've done a lot of damage as well early doors here, Nordavind. 3 players tagged, and Robin, 5 HP. Surreal, 34. Yeah, man, if they go back and watch this demo, they'll think, hold on, we could have had an extra 5+ rounds. Like, so many of them come down to 2v2, 1v1 scenarios.
Vince, I think this is the beginning of the end, really. Obviously, just gambling the stack here on B, knowing the economy the way that it is, they have to just roll the dice, and unfortunately, they have gotten the old snake eyes. 15-8 right around the corner. And still really not much they're going to be able to buy into the next round, Vince, to try to challenge for overtime.
Yeah, it must be a feeling of pessimism right now on Nordavind as well, as they're eyeing up a 7 map point situation for Endpoint on Nordavind's choice as well. That's the important thing. We move to Dust 2 next, which Endpoint did pick for themselves. So things don't bode too well right now for the CTs. As he said, the upshot of going for the gamble stack is it means you can save the 3 guns more often than not. So at least they will have a buy of some description going into what could be the final round of the map.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some scrappy moments in the first half where, you know, you thought there's still some hope for Nordavind, and then they got the 3-0 start in this half, and you're like, okay, we got a game on our hands, but it has been absolute domination since then. These last 5 rounds. Yeah, some close calls, a couple of 2v2 type deals, but Endpoint have firmly grasped control of this game.
Yep, there's no doubt that they have grabbed onto this with both hands. After losing the pistol, the subsequent 2 rounds, it's been pretty one-sided. That grenade, though, obliterating Endpoint as they funnel their way out of Palace, and it should be a clean sweep from here on out. Robin, his mission really is to take down as many CTs as he possibly can. Has he caught a glimpse? He must not have, otherwise he'd be spraying through that smoke almost definitely. Flash out, not going to give his position away. If he can get 2 or 3 kills from this round, then Robin's done his job. He has positioned himself there, but I was about to say, can Croman see through the smoke? And he could just catch a glimpse of him. So a clean sweep. Nordavind not out of this just yet.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if they're still breathing or if that's an agonal gasp. Like, I don't know, if there really is a chance for them to actually push forward or not off the back of it. I mean, it's obviously a brilliant round. They did it very dominantly, but can they really keep that up for another 6 rounds to force an overtime? We'll have to see. It would be a brilliant comeback if so.
They have cut the economy of Endpoint down significantly, though, in the process. So an extra win here would put them double digits and potentially a half buy for Endpoint. So they're getting there, slowly but surely. Crucial about to be smoked off. Aggression in the B apps. I did say before that would he have as much impact on the T side as the CT side? And the answer is not really, but we have had the likes of Thomas really step up. We've seen that crazy double spray down he picked up before. He's got a lot of entries. He's been in the right positions when they've needed it, but there's a freebie of a kill, and Artensky goes back in for more. He's traded out. HS sprays up through the smoke, and we'll take out Surreal. So Nordavind keep the player advantage.
Doing great work here in this round to keep this match flowing. I feel like this is going to come down to if Thomas can make a play on that ace slide. He's looking for a timing out Palace in the midst of all this mid control that we're watching. There's a player towards Ticket, or he might be able to catch NATO's AWP in jungle. But obviously he's at a disadvantage in that duel with the AK-47, as the rest of Endpoint also now gathering up towards A. And they do have a little bit of utility, but no smoke is kind of the key. And now Croman smoked A ramp, so they have to force their way through that. And this is looking great for Nordavind.
Yeah, that shot was huge. Funnels the remaining T's out of ramp. They're both going to be coming out together. I need to be thinking about whether they want to hold on to these weapons. Now, it would appear with the bomb still stuck in ramp, they at least want to try and keep Crucial alive with his orb, which makes sense.
Oh, sure.
Uh-oh, Thomas might die after time here. Or not.
There's a little bit of money to buy around those 2 save weapons as well. I'm not sure if they'll bite the bullet on that or not. Surreal has 5k, so yeah, he definitely will get the AK and the head armor. Does mean that they have to get a Mac 10 and a Galil, though, to be able to get some utility. So they've kind of gone for it here. And this could be a problem, because if they lose this round, Nordavind actually could really close the gap. And then we have a game on our hands.
Oh, yeah. Lots of damage to the smoke as well. Mighty Max being tagged down. There's so many grenades and shrapnel flying around. Somehow no one has died in this incursion. I have no idea how. Surreal and Mighty Max have been wrecked, and so is Tensky, but all 10 players still standing. Yeah,
that was wild exchange there. Kind of a stalemate, but definitely the victors overall are Nordavind on just getting 2 players so softened up. They are going to go for the A set piece now on the endpoint side of things. They have a couple of smokes, a few flashes. Thing is, look at this angle that Croman has. That's the one they have to worry about. Is that the stone that goes unturned? If so, they could be in a lot of trouble. But if they isolate him, they could give him a nice little 5-on-4 post-plant type situation. They can block off Tensky's assistance.
Yeah, the trajectory of that smoke is not going to give anything away to Nordavind either. It can be thrown if they're faking towards B, but now they've seen the smokes coming over, and Croman sprays down. Not going to get a 4th, but he's done all the work that Nordavind could have asked for and more. Last 2 players, very low HP between the 2 of them, and they are being finished off cleanly and quickly. Surreal, last man up to the plate, AK in his hands. HS using that little box as cover. And now Surreal's given his position away. He's going to get peeked any moment from Harry. Why is Harry still looking in connector here? I thought they would have known his window.
I'm not sure.
So that's a kill he gets kind of cleanly, to be honest.
Yeah. Keeping the economy low on Nordavind, I guess, but I mean they're buying every round no matter what. But I guess you're limiting maybe their utility a little bit by getting kills like that. The problem is you can't really do anything with it, because this round you have to save if you're Endpoint. Tech 9s, like upgraded pistols at most, maybe some P250s, but wouldn't really expect a whole lot of investment here. This means that Nordavind will get the 12 for free, pretty much. And then it gets interesting, Vince. Then it comes down to where Nordavind just need 3 rounds to force OT, and maybe Endpoint's only going to have 2 decent buys in that mix. Yep, so they basically need to win like 2 more buy rounds when they get to OT.
That's a good point. This is much closer than the scoreline maybe suggests. To give Harry the benefit of the doubt, maybe a bad call came out as well, to be fair, that jungle wasn't covered, but whatever. In the here and now, Endpoint looking to just press on B aggressively. They have a bunch of players here, but good counter grenades have been tossed in from Nordavind. They can't afford to push through their hefty damage through the wooden panels. Robin down to sub 50 HP.
Oh, here's the window boost, Vince. As we said, a favorite of theirs, although I think he just... I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, but now he goes back up and does spot Tensky, and actually does a lot of damage and might even get that Tensky has to get the hell out of there. Now that throws a spanner in the works. Now they have to worry about their backside.
Oh, and that smoke gives Surreal a lot of information. He knows they've vacated window completely. Otherwise, why would you be tossing that in? So he can push past it. But there's HS. Perfect timing. Triple spray. He may even get more. All he has to do now is stay alive. They know their economy is starting to build nicely. It's starting to swell. HS with a 4th on for the ace. And the last player to watch out for is going to be Mighty Max, who is making a move up with the bomb towards B. Going to try and sneak this plant away. But I think Harry may have heard his footsteps from short catwalk side yet. All the rotations coming in. Mighty Max not really with any hope of getting even a kill out of this round, let alone the bomb plant. So Nordavind again sail by 4 rounds in a row now.
Ace for HS there, by the way. He's had a couple of big multi-frag rounds this game, and this is a guy who started out 1-8. And he was able to keep his composure. He had like 1 big 4K round in the first half that they won a round off of, and there he just gets an ace. And while it was against a bit of an eco, it was a dangerous one because they had window control, and he would kind of save the day to make sure that they weren't going to have to deal with any problems. So a nice round there for him, and now we're back onto full buys. Again, mid being contested by both sides, though it is just Mighty Max here by himself in this case. Going to be another A set piece, Vince, and there's only 1 player on the site. He's kind of isolated, doesn't really have any assistance nearby. This could be a problem. It all comes down to timing.
And they're slowly snaking their way out. They've thrown no smokes to proceed this push. It's going to catch not only Croman, but Nordavind off guard. As Dust highlighted, now they're going to be coming in, trying to push their way through the smokes. HS with 1, darts back again at great cost to his HP. The CT box has gone untested, and now Harry jumping up on the box is going to get 1. Keeping this round in the realms of possibility. Hefty grenade damage, though, inflicted to Harry in the rotation. The flank is good from Mighty Max. There's another one, cracking open connector. He's going to get spotted from range from Nato Safix, and now that smoke is going to clear. It's completely on the balance, Dust. This round is anybody's.
That tips the scales, though. Big kill from Robin on Harry on that window rotation. Now all on NATO, who's trying to 1v2 clutch. I think he had an op, but I don't know if he's trying to drop it for a rifle. Indeed, he does. And there's a kit in front of him. He didn't already have one, which he does. So let's see what he can do.
Oh, these are such rough positions, though. He's got a smoke and a flash. So if he tosses the smoke into Palace, that's where things could get interesting. But of course, there's so many angles he has to be wary of. He's slowly edging his way onto the site. Damage inflicted. Now Crucial's going to go for that peek. Nato Safix with the first, switching to his sidearm. He still has time to clutch this, and there's a P250 headshot. He's actually pulled it off.
Yeah, it's well played by him, but I do wonder why the op committed so hard out of Palace there. I think his gut reaction was to try to save his teammate who was trapped behind the firebox. But I just don't feel like he really needed to. Just play the time. Like, NATO still has to push really deep to clear the firebox out or get on or jump on top of it or something. So either the out needed to be more selfish and stay in Palace, or they needed to actually peek NATO together. They did neither one, and they gave NATO 2 1v1s. So I think a bit of a mishap there from Endpoint, despite the fact that I don't want to take anything away from NATO playing that well.
Oh, definitely not. That's one of those situations. He did everything he could, and there were definitely some mistakes. There's no doubting that from Endpoint. And if they do end up conceding this map, you have to feel like that's one of the moments they go back to and they look at it and they go,
played that round so well, Vince. Like, they did this. Mighty Max did such a good job, like, doing the mid play to keep them busy, and then they naked hit A, basically. And, like, it was just the perfect call based on how the half had been playing out to kind of just sneak in an A hit in and getting that player isolated under Palace, killing him, getting the 5-on-4. It was so good. And Mighty Max had the flank up connector. They really did orchestrate all the strategy of that round so well, only to just kind of drop the ball at the end.
Well, let's hope that's not a tilting moment. We could maybe see Endpoint become their own worst enemies. You heard Nato Safix talk about this in the interview, that he feels like often the CTs, in this case Nordavind, are their own worst enemies. They just have to beat themselves. We actually do have a rotation, a flank from Croman, who gets a lot of info for that push. This affords Nordavind to stack 3 players on B. Endpoint might be walking into a trap of crossfires.
Very possible.
Harry's just
flank from Spawn's going to be big, maybe, Vince.
Oh, yeah. Croman's gone back in again. The flashbang's not good enough. Harry with 2. They do get the avenging frag, but now HS is going to lock it down. Mighty Max in the wings, showing his hand from short, but he is the last man standing, and there is the AWP to greet him. Nordavind pulling back 6 rounds in a row from the brink of defeat, from 15-8 to 15-14.
Yeah, someone needs to go give Endpoint the Heimlich maneuver, because they are just straight grasping for air at this point. They do at least have somewhat of a bye to go into this final round, but it's certainly less than ideal with the UMP in play. And oh my goodness, it's already starting to fade. Big kills coming out in middle underpass from Nordavind. They are going to do it. It seems they might just push us to overtime. It's going to come down to heroics from Endpoint at this point to keep this within regulation.
Nah, it doesn't look like it's possible here, Dust. It seems like Endpoint have gone flat. Nordavind have resurrected themselves, and Endpoint have gone missing.
Man. On the one hand, I have to give props to Nordavind because they lost so many close rounds throughout this game. Like, the first half, they lost a half 5-10. Could have easily been 8-7 their direction based on some of the 2v2s that we saw in that first half. A couple other instances like that happened in the second half as well, where the rounds were tight. And then I honestly just think that Endpoint really did throw away that 2 versus 1 to close the game against NATO. Like, I feel like they're going to really be hating that one if they go on to lose this map, because they should have had it. But what can Nordavind do with this new lifeline?
No damage, but a kill the way of Endpoint. Surreal comes out swinging with the AK. They're going to catch the CTs off guard. They switched it up. Grenade damage, not going to finish off Tensky, but the AK bullets of Surreal will. And how often does this happen? A team battles back to overtime and then just gets slaughtered in the first round of overtime.
That was just every timing went Endpoint's way on that. They caught the A push. They were able to catch NATO sleeping on stairs, focused on A ramp, so he gets blindsided from the Palace feet. Oh my, though. Those are a couple of nice little shots from HS. The thing is, though, I feel like those are empty victories. Him trying to actually clutch out this 1v5 just seems impossible. And this is the MR3 10k rule set, by the way, so economy definitely does matter. It's not one of those MR3 16ks where you can basically buy every round no matter what. You do have to be conscious about what you save.
Yeah, HS gonna go in late here. I don't know if he's just hoping to find like an AWP or something on the ground that he can maybe try and save, but his life is pretty much thrown away. And Endpoint do pick up the first blood in overtime. They've finally done it. That's going to be their first round in 6 or 7. So at least that's going to build up the confidence a little bit.
Definitely a big round if you're Endpoint after having that crazy comeback against you to get that one clean. Hopefully get you back in the right mental state. I'm sure that it hurt to let that lead go. Here we have a lot of damage being dealt here towards B apartments, but this is all a sham. He's trying to throw as big of a fake as he can by himself, and he's doing a good job keeping these two players in position, but now he's been caught and alleviates that pressure.
Unbeknownst to Croman, a lot of players behind him in the ramp area. He's going to be going through and catches Thomas with a Molotov out, able to spin around and get 2. Daylight robbery that he picked up 2 frags, and it's 16-16. Remember, though, that in regulation, CT rounds were 20 out of the 30. Both teams went 10 and 5 on CT, so any of these T rounds are going to be very valuable.
Certainly. And I can't tell you, it's so dangerous to take those late timing Palace peaks, because usually Ts are set up on a great angle to watch for that peak. And he just happened to catch a timing. I think the guy in Palace had a nade in his hand when he peaked. So, again, just brilliant timing there from Croman. Will lock in the round after they got that initial kill at B apartment side. So we're all even again. B has been left somewhat open in this situation. Harry kind of playing it from get right position. Now we see NATO rotate over with the AWP. He will be here in time. A flank as well through spawn vents. It's going to be HS.
Yeah, the same kind of play that Croman went for. So much info gathered. The timing, though, HS has been found from Thomas, and that could open up things towards the A side of the map. Now, still plenty of time left.
Might as well call Thomas Peter Parker after that, dude. Body senses were tingling there. Picks up a big kill on that flank, and that, like you said, kind of opens up more options, forces Nordavind to scramble a bit more. And Endpoint will indeed use that to kind of fall back towards the A side of the map. They're still holding 3 strong at B. They really do feel like it was going to be a B hit, and they are right. The thing is, they don't realize the audible that Endpoint has called, the reactionary CS that's broken out, and it could come back to haunt them because their rotation is so far away from helping out Croman. Croman has to just pop off here.
He's had some pretty big rounds. He's currently 25 and 18 with 7 assists. So certainly a player that you'd like in this scenario, but Harry, a big kill. Allows him safe passage. They line up for Croman. He nearly gets 3. They lined up perfectly for him. 20 seconds to play with. An Endpoint have some smokes put up. They're going to be able to try and get that bomb down. Robin taking damage, but it will be successful. But it's now all about the retake. Natsu Safik's going to get drilled by Crucial's AWP. Look like he may be able to flick across and take down the Dutchman. And now Tensky and Harry have got to try and move in together. What an important round this could end up being. And Crucial holding the line with his AWP. And Robin comes out swinging with the AK. So 2 rounds will go to Crucial and the rest of his teammates of Endpoint in that first half of overtime. Things starting to get a little bit spicy again.
Indeed, another half where it kind of goes tit for tat. As you said, those T rounds have been where we've seen a lot of success. The T rounds hold a lot of value because of that, and Nordavind only got 1. Will that be enough? They have to win out now to win in this OT1. Endpoint have the advantage here. Just need to try to close out a couple of rounds. And I feel like overall they had a lot of good looks on CT side. They just kind of dropped the ball a couple of times.
Oh, the trade going well for Endpoint. Robin holds his nerve, doesn't spray, just deciding to double tap and burst. And Mighty Max, surgical precision, putting the round into the head of Natsu Safix and potentially taking the round out for Endpoint in the process. Crucial moving through, smokes in his eyes, not going to be pulling the trigger, and Croman pushing across to the site, but there's a player in the ninja spot, and that's going to be Thomas. And our HS 1 versus 5 is being sprayed from every conceivable angle. Endpoint have 2 more map points.
Yeah, I think that they have a great chance to win this now. Again, we know that the CT side was the favored side in regulation for both of these teams. They both felt good on it. Endpoint got the 2 rounds they needed in the first half of the OT here. Now they just got the opening CT round as well. They have a couple of rounds to play with. They really, truly should be in control of this now. The pressure's really on Nordavind to try to come up with some type of adjustment, some type of new play.
Oh, Robin. Jeez, Lily burns alive. Had to use a smoke and tag down to 5. Crucial's been battered down to 25 as well. Molotov's being tossed out onto the CT boxes. Extinguish keeps a slight gap open as well. So that's an angle that Crucial could exploit. 3 players strong on CT. They're going to allow the bomb plant, but because they have 3 players here this quickly, this is going to be a retake position and angle they're probably not going to be expecting, Nordavind. Molotov's now tossed back out again. Nordavind have pushed out into the arms of Surreal. This retake is looking very doable now from Endpoint. They're pushing through. They're getting a lot of ground for free. And Thomas comes out with 2. It all falls to Tensky and his teammate of Croman. And now Krovan, who's been sprayed out. Endpoint will get across the finish line. It's later than they're anticipating. Definitely not as clean as they were hoping for. But a win is a win at the end of the day, Dust. They're 1-0 in our semi-final.